Hey everyone, it's Sarah. Today I'm going to be talking about 4 ways to write better dialogue. In the month of April, I've been talking about writing better fiction. We've talked about character development and conflict, as well as how to write a great opening line. But today, let's talk about dialogue. Dialogue is very important to a story. Of course, I am a playwright, so dialogue is very important to me. When you're writing a play, the dialogue is basically the main way that you tell the story, and it can serve an important function in fiction as well. Some fiction writers don't use as much dialogue as others, but for the dialogue that you do use, you need to keep certain things in mind. Now, all of these things that I'm going to tell you are a lot more helpful if you do them as you are revising. I wouldn't stress about these things as you're writing a first draft. I wouldn't even think about how great your dialogue is when you're writing a first draft. Just get it out there, and then when you write your first draft and you have it, you can go back through and think about these tips. The first tip is to read your dialogue out loud. This will definitely help you figure out if it sounds natural or if it sounds awkward, if it sounds like something that someone would actually say, if all of your characters are starting to sound the same. You can really learn a lot about the dialogue in your story by reading it out loud. So definitely think about that as you are revising. The goal is to write dialogue the way that people speak it. So if you read it out loud, it's a lot easier to accomplish that. The second tip is to think about the subtext. Now, it's very rare that people actually say what they mean. So sometimes what isn't said is just as important or more important than what is said. So one way that you can think about subtext is to go through each line of dialogue and write out what the subtext is. If you know what your character is thinking or feeling but not saying outright, then that will really help you to figure out exactly what needs to be said in the conversation. The third thing that you want to do is move the plot forward. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean that dialogue should be realistic, yes. But if you listen to the way people talk, people use a lot of filler words, people say a lot of empty words, people talk about the weather for no reason. I mean, there's a lot of small talk. You don't necessarily need to include all of that. Make sure everything that your characters are saying is moving the plot forward and important to the story. And the fourth tip is to give everyone a unique voice. The idea is if you were just reading the dialogue without knowing who was saying what, would you be able to tell which character it was based on the dialogue alone? So, does a character phrase things differently? Does he or she use a lot of filler words, a lot of like, or something, etc.? Is he or she really proper in the way that he or she speaks? These are things that you need to think about. One way that you can also think about this is to just go to Starbucks or a public place and just listen to the people talking around you. Some people call this eavesdropping, but if you're a writer, it can also be working on your craft. So just listen to the conversations around you, listen to the way people are talking, see if you can pick out the little things that make all of their voices unique, and give some of these qualities to your characters. Alright, that's it for me today. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think about dialogue. Is there something that you struggle with in writing dialogue? Do you have a question for me about what I think about dialogue? Or is there something that really works for you when you're thinking about writing your own dialogue? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so let me know down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you can get my writing videos every week. Next month, I'm going to be talking about writing as a business. And next week specifically, I'll be talking about how to make money writing. So subscribe to my channel if you would like to see that. Make sure you also sign up for my mailing list, The Daily Writer, for daily writing inspiration. I'll leave a link to that down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Happy writing!